purpose of this video is to walk the viewer through the steps involved in setting up permanent transcripts found in the single sign-on area of MMS. This area is available to all MMS online clients who have either administrative or staff level access. This is the single sign-on area of MMS. From here, we're going to click on the Grades tile, and under Grades Configuration is Configure Permanent Transcripts. If you click on the question mark, it will give you quick access to related knowledge base articles. So let's click on Configure Permanent Transcripts. There are 5 areas that need to be addressed to set up a permanent transcript. First, we want to make sure we are in the correct school and in the correct school year. To save time, I am going to recall a setting that I have been working with. You'll see here that we have a settings down at the bottom. And here is my setting. This is a little bit different than what we have seen in the portals previously. So I'm just going to click on Load next to my setting. And there is a warning message saying that any unsaved changes will be removed. Are you sure you want to continue? And I do. There we go. So let's step through the different options. So the first one is to select the grade point value group to pull the grades from. There are 5 different grade point value groups. The first 2 options include prior year or current year courses with no grades and no credits. This option actually looks at 4 different areas in the grade record: grades, credits, teacher notes, and comment codes. If one of these areas contains data, the course will display in the transcript regardless. Use this option to display all courses a student was scheduled into or is scheduled into in the case of a current year course. Include transfer courses. If courses and grades from another school have been entered into MMS through the transfer grade editor, do they need to be included in the transcript? Check this box if you do. If transfer courses are to be included in the transcript, the second option is available to include transfer school name. At the time transfer courses are entered, there is an option to specify the name of the previous school, city, and state. That information can be included in the transcript. Do we want to include withdrawn courses? So select that to choose whether courses that are assigned a withdrawal grade are to appear on the student's permanent transcript. Include student assessment records on a separate page. When this option is selected, MMS prints the transcript and then a separate page listing each of the student's assessment records, SAT, ACT, etc. You must use the MMS assessment reporting system in order to use this option. If you do choose to include the student assessment records on a separate page, you also have the option of printing only the student assessment page rather than both the transcript and the assessment records. And let's take a look at the Setup Assessment Records page. At the top, you have some global date range settings for all tests to include in the report. Enter in a start date, then click on Set All Dates to apply the date to all. So if I wanted to go back a little bit farther than December of 2016, I could, and then you'll see that these dates are going to change as soon as I click on Set All Start Dates, and I can do the same for the end date. And then the Set All Score Type, you have for options, you have most recent, highest, and lowest. For percent, percentile, text, and max scores, only the most recent score will always be printed. And here you can select courses to exclude from the transcript. This would apply to courses that have a grade plan and grades associated with them. Otherwise, they would not be included. We have 2 options to proceed to the next area. We can click on Next, or we can click on School Information, or any of the text below the circle. So you can see this was already entered in. And actually it was entered in through the default information. So I'm going to delete this and then demonstrate how that information just goes in with a click, and you can modify this information. It's actually information that gets pulled from your license file, and here we can put in spell check, redo, and undo are also available. So if I hit Control Z, the typing that I just entered in goes away. So let's go to the student information. This pulls in information from two different areas. You have the option of doing a text entry as well as selecting a biographical field. And you can see here that we have some merge fields, more merge fields than what was previous available. We have the merge field of the student first name, middle initial, and last. We also have last, first, and middle initial. We have the address, which is the street number as well as the street, and then we have the city, state, and zip combined. In each of these areas, if you click or hover over the informational circle there, it will let you know the maximum number of lines allowed in each area and approximately the number of characters on each. We will not allow you to exceed the number of lines per area, but you do need to be aware of the number of characters that are selected to print on each individual line. When you do select a field that is related to a contact, here we have contact last name, and when we select a contact field, it is going to ask for the contact type. The default is C1, the first contact, but you can change that. And then you would click Add Data. Let's go to the next area. And that is the additional information area. That prints on the right side of the transcript. And you can see here that we have the academic standing area, test records, activities, honors, awards, and miscellaneous. And for each of those areas, we have information as to how large that area is. Here we can see the miscellaneous has a maximum of 8 lines with approximately 32 characters per line. Each of them has the ability to pull from 4 different types of input. The first is similar to what we saw in the student and school information, is that you can click in anywhere and start typing in text. Carriage return will get you to the next line. We have the biographical fields that you can enter in, and there is that search. Some of the fields, the native MMS fields, are actually displayed to you as a user-friendly names. So year of grad is actually listed out as year of graduation and not YOG. But you can see the field right below year of graduation is yearbook, and that is a user-defined field that I have, and as such it just displays the field name. Absent from the biographical information are any contact information. You'll note that there isn't an option to select which contact that field is coming from. We have grade data, and as we select different options here, this header will change to reflect what we are selecting. So we have GPA data, and then when you select a GPA, you would select which calculation you want, and these are just your GPA codes. We have credits, and you can see that changes to have a pull down list of the credit codes available. We have class rank, which is based on a GPA code. Honor roll, which would be from the current school year, and that is based on a grade field. And then below that is attendance summary records, and those are specific to a school year. You can see here I go as far back as the 11-12 school year, and we can pull in absence, tardies, and dismissals. And you would just scroll to the appropriate school year that you want to pull from. And here we see another option for pulling in assessment information. You would select the assessment that you want, and let's just do SAT Math. We would select the field to print, and for this we would do the test label, and we can see the length, and then we would insert, and then we can add some spaces, and then for that same one we're going to do, let's say, the raw score, and insert that. Now for the assessment information, after you add them into your work area, you are going to want to click on that field, and then you can set a date, start date and end date range, and then the type of score. So that's either most recent, highest, or lowest. Now there is a note here that for percent, percentile, text, max scores, most recent score will always be printed. So in this case, where this one right here is the test label, that would be printed from the most recent, although it would be the same regardless. And then so we're just going to do that. And then for our raw score, we are going to select the highest and click OK. And each of these 4 areas are set up the same way. You have the option of typing in text, you have the biographical, the grade and attendance, and then the assessment. Let's go to class records. So there are 2 areas for setting up class records. We have the prior class record and the current class record. Let's see, for my prior class record, these would be for school years that have already ended. I have 3 grade fields that are set to be displayed, and changing the headers are very easy. They do default to a G1, grade 1 through grade 6. There's no guessing as to where the headers are. You can click in any of the headers. There is a total of 6 grade fields that can be included. For a transcript to generate, it is required that at least 1 grade field be selected either in the prior class or current class record. And then here we choose the credits that we want to include. So it's as simple as clicking on that field, and then you'll see a drop-down list. That drop-down list was pretty small. If I click on my grades area, you'll see that I have all of my grades, plus I have some blank grade fields here. And you can see I actually have one selected because I chose to skip a column here. So I have semester 1, semester 2, averages, a blank field, and then I have my final average. So in order to bump my final average, I need to include a blank grade field. Now, I skipped this one here by stating here that I wanted to start my grade fields at column 2 and not column 1. We have the option of which grade type we want to display, whether we want to do the recorded grade or an alternate grade. The default is alternate grade. And then here we have the order that we want to display the courses, either by course name or by course code. You do need to be mindful that if you click on that X, you are resetting that area. I learned that one the hard way. And then here we have our school years. So we have our 14-15, 15-16, and I have 14-15 again. So I can actually edit these lines now, which is really nice. So if I click on edit, I can change this one to my 16-17. I can change the grade level if I want to, or I can choose not to do a grade level. And I click on save. To add a line, I just click on the add, and then I would select my school year and then put in any optional information and then click on saved. Now you can see that my grades are now out of order. We can change the order now, so I just click on that and I can drag it down and change the order. I am going to delete this record here because I have that down below. So my 17-18 school year is my current school year. And because it is my current school year, I want to give colleges a complete picture of my student. I have my quarter grades displayed, my semester 1, my quarter 3. I could put quarter 4 in there if I wanted to, and then I'm going to put my final average, because if I have a student that had a semester 1 or quarter 1 class only, they would have a final average grade, as well as my credits. So here I am starting in column 1, but I am taking advantage of that blank grade field so that I can put a blank column between my quarter grades and my final average. And again, I'm using the recorded grade and ordering by course name. And here is my current record. So I have my 17-18 school year, and I did opt to put a grade level in there. Let's go to Save and Print. Now, at any point in time, I can click on Settings and recall my settings. But from this area here, I have the option of saving the current transcript. So I did make some changes. So why don't we edit this one? And then here, if I click on Overwrite, it will save my changes. If I wanted to add a new setting, I just click on Add, and here is New Setting. It's going to list the creator as administrator because that's who I'm logged in as. We can lock that transcript so that other people can use it, but they can't modify it. And click on Save. There's my new setting there. To delete, you just click on Delete, and there we go. You can set your student range. This is similar to what we have seen in the other, the grade operations that were released previously this year. And then we have some options here. We can start each transcript on a new sheet of paper. That would apply to if you are using a printer set in duplex mode. So pretty much the transcripts are one page. You want to make sure that the first page of one student doesn't print on the back page of another. We have the option of including a signature line and also including the watermark. The watermark is what you will see when you access the transcripts from the parent portal or the CR Family portal. Click on here to print your transcript. You do need to be aware of that the transcripts will open another tab, and that may get blocked depending on your browser. And here is the transcript, and they look just as what we had available through MMS Generations. There is a note that save settings that you save in the new portals will carry over from school year to school year, but if you have some settings saved in MMS Generations, they will not be available here, and likewise if you save settings here, they will not be available in MMS Generations. And then here we have a new option called Create New Transcript. And if you click on that, it will remove all of your settings and bring you back to the transcript options. Use the Configure portals to determine which saved settings for your transcripts will be displayed in the staff and teacher portal or the CR Family portal. And you can choose different settings for each one. And be sure to save your settings. And that will save your settings. If you didn't make any changes, just click on Close and you'll be all set.